Jacques Tati had Russian, Dutch, Italian and French origins. He was a mime, filmmaker, actor, and screenwriter. As a mime, his impressions sportives were of great success. His later films had only minimal dialogue, relying instead on visual gags. Tati mimed the movements of every character and asked his actors to repeat them. Sheldon was an American actor, mime, and musician. He is remembered as the mute servant Bernardo in Walt Disney's live-action Spanish Western series Zorro. Jean-Louis Barrault studied with Étienne Decroix. He was a member of the Comédie Française. He worked in nearly 50 movies. Over the course of his career, one of his most famous performances was in the movie Les Enfants du Paradis, playing the role of Jean-Gaspard de Bourreau. Red Skelton was an American entertainer, known for his radio and television shows, especially The Red Skelton Show. The Donut Dunkers pantomime sketch launched his career. Skelton believed that his life's work was to make people laugh. He had a 70-year-long career and entertained 3 generations of Americans. Achille Zavatta was a French clown, artist, and circus operator. He started performing in his family's circus show at the age of 3, forming with his brothers Michel and Rolf, the Zavatta Trio. He became famous for his skills as a pantomime. Éliane Guyon studied with Étienne Decroix. She quickly became a collaborator of him, thanks to her excellent physical predispositions. She always worked on physical and emotional body expression, where movement was born from stillness. She also dedicated part of her artistic life to puppet shows. Henryk Tomaszewski was a mime artist and theater director from Poland. His conceptions of mime technique are modern, much in the same way as Étienne Decroix or Jacques Lecoq, but developed along different lines, owing to the differences in Polish and French theater traditions. Little reference is made to the tradition of the commedia dell'arte. Adrian Pecknold was a Canadian mime, director, and author. He studied mime at the Jacques Lecoq School in Paris. He is popularly known for his creation and depiction of Poco the Clown in the popular Canadian children's television program, Mr. Dressup. Jacques Lecoq was a French theatrical actor, mime, and pedagogue, founder of the Jacques Lecoq International School of Theatre. He is considered one of the most significant thinkers of contemporary theatre. He is known for his studies on physical theatre and for the recovery of the Greek mask and choir and the teachings of the commedia dell'arte. He contributed significantly to the development of mime and physical theatre with his training methods. Marcel Marceau is the living genius of mime and legendary in his lifetime. He was a French theatrical actor and mime, a pupil of Étienne Decroix. Bip, his most famous character, was born modeled on Chaplin's Tramp. The experience of the war taught him important traits of pantomime: the hidden life, the forced silence, the fear of betraying oneself. Until 2001, when he was awarded the Raoul Wallenberg Medal, Marceau had never talked about his past in the resistance. He said then, "The people who came back from the concentration camps have never been able to talk about it. My name is Mangel. I am Jewish." Perhaps this unconsciously contributed to my choice of silence. Until shortly before his death, he traveled the world in an effort to perpetuate the tradition of mime. Otto Simánek is an actor from the Czech Republic. One of his most famous roles was Pan Tao, a character created for a children's television series. Pan Tao always had a gentle expression and a friendly smile. He was elegantly dressed in a stroller, with an umbrella and a white carnation in the lapel. He was famous for his magic bowler hat. By tapping on his hat, Pan Tao was able to change his appearance into a puppet to do magic. Tony Montanaro was a 20th-century American mime artist. He studied with Marceau and Étienne Decroix in France. He had a long career in Europe and the United States. He founded the Celebration Barn Theatre, a theater school of mime, improvisation, storytelling, and other performing skills. Today, the Barn is an international residential center for theater training and creation. continuing Montanaro's legacy. Richmond Shepard was an American writer, director, producer, and mime, with a 50-year history in entertainment. He was one of the oldest living working mimes in show business. He traveled across the world, performing with mime troupes and improvisational comedy in various clubs around New York City. His last role was when he played the Sandman in Fuzz on the Lens Productions fantasy comedy, Abnormal Attraction, released on February 26, 2019. Oleg Popov was a Soviet-Russian clown and circus artist. He performed as a clown, combining his talents as a mime, a tightrope walker, and a juggler. He was immediately noticed by the press, which made him a circus star. The Soviet regime quickly transformed him into ambassador for the Soviet Union. He toured extensively around the world with the Moscow Circus. Darius, a Turkish-origin American dancer, mime, writer, and choreographer, became inspired with Les Enfants du Paradis. As a performer, he appeared in over 86 countries, across 6 continents. The BBC World Service described him as one of the most exceptional talents of the 20th century. Ladislav Fialka was a mime from what is now the Czech Republic. While Marcel Marceau preferred solo pantomime, Fialka worked with larger ensembles and integrated elements of dance. It was a time of Europe's growing interest in nonverbal ways of expression. The Czech theater culture took a path towards mime art in line with global trends. The group was connected with one of the most important tendencies of this movement. It represented the marginal, nonverbal outpost of poetic theaters. Soon, they incorporated the principles of Marcel Marceau's imaginary poetics and his theatrical form of Decruz pure mime. Dimitri was a Swiss clown and mime artist. He preferred performing solo, in theaters with a few props and no scenery. His act was motivated with his comic logic and playful spirit, allowing him to incorporate a wide variety of circus skills. Interaction with the audience was an integral part of his stage acts. Lindsay Kemp was a British dancer, actor, teacher, mime, and choreographer. He was probably best known for his mime and music show Flowers, in which he played the lead role of Divine. Owing to its homosexual themes and perceived decadence, the show reviews were sometimes hostile, but it was widely considered a theatrical and sensory sensation, and it toured globally for many years. Chris Harris was an English actor, director, and writer. He also built a successful career in pantomime. He attended the Lecoq School in Paris, the Fialka Pantomime Company in Prague, and was for a short time at the Moscow State Circus School. From 1976 until his death, he performed his one-man comedy shows around the world. In 1972, Robert Shields and Laureen Yarnell formed a mime team. Shields was discovered by Marcel Marceau, who offered him a full scholarship to his School of Mime in Paris. Laureen Yarnell had been a dancer and actress in movies and television shows before she met Shields in San Francisco. Shields and Yarnell's specialty was a series of skits called the Clinkers. They assumed the characters of robots with many stereotypical motions, enhanced by their ability to refrain from blinking their eyes for long stretches of time. Modris Tenisons was a mime artist in Lithuania and Latvia. He founded the first pantomime professional team in the Soviet Union. He directed several theater and radio performances. He was considered by Lithuanians as a kind of local Charlie Chaplin.